Today we're going to talk a little bit about how to customize your price tag. I've had a lot of emails, forum posts, comments, questions about how you would go ahead and tailor your price tag to the way that you want it. So here we are in QuickBooks Point of Sale 2013. I'm going to tell you that we're going to go on the File menu. You're going to go under Tools to the Print Designer. Print Designer, if you didn't know, is where you can kind of custom tailor anything that comes out as a document from your point of sale. Here you can see that by default comes up on Sales Receipt. We're actually going to head to Inventory Tags. At the top of the list on Inventory Tags, we have the Avery labels. Yes, you can print out barcode tags and price tags on Avery labels in your laser printer, but if you ask me, that ends up being more of a bother than it need be, because you have to put different sheets into your laser printer. You have to make sure it's all aligned correctly. Today we're going to talk about Zebra tags, which start where it says Intuit here. Anything that says Intuit label is going to be the one that comes out of the Zebra tag printer. So the first Intuit tag here is a hang tag. And this is actually not a label, it's not a sticker, it's more like a piece of cardboard with a hole in it. This is the kind of thing you use a tag gun to adhere it to clothing with a little piece of plastic that goes through it. You see that at every clothing store. That might be a good option for you if you're in the clothing industry or fashion. We're going to skip that. I'm going to head to Intuit Jewelry Tag and see that these are made so that you can wrap them around a small piece of jewelry or just something small in general. We also have your Intuit label here. Intuit label is 2.25 by 1.25. The one we deal mostly with would be the Intuit label small, and that is the 1.2 by 0.85 inch label. This seems to be a favorite of most of our clients because it can fit on most anything. You can see that there's already some preset templates. We've got one that has the description, size, attribute, price in a box, and the barcode number and the item number here. There's one that headlines with the ALU, or alternate lookup. We've got the ALU and no price. We've got the regular label with no price, description instead. You can see there's a variety of different preset ones here. So I'm going to head back to the Intuit label small. I'll show you how we can just kind of tailor this. We're going to hit modify. This is actually going to create a new label when we save it. So I'll show you that. Modify. Now this is just some kind of default item information just so you can get a feel for what it will look like. Most people are like, well, I don't track all the different sizes of my clothes. I don't reorder by size. Some people do, so you might choose to keep that. So I'm selecting this here. I'm going to hit the delete key on my keyboard. Then we've got also color here. This one looks like gray or white or something like that. I'm going to hit delete on that. Number one thing people do a lot of the time is they want the price to be bigger because people are just like squinting to try and look at the price. It's so tiny when it comes out. Keep in mind this is 0.85 by 1.2 inches, so obviously this price here would be just tiny. So I'm going to select that like I have here, and I'm going to actually hit the properties. That's going to bring up the properties for the thing I have selected. Right now it's centered. It's going to say that the label position moves with the data getting bigger. You can also type in a custom label here, like let's say we typed in price here. You can see in the sample down here it says price $23.45. If I hit OK, it becomes that. So you can hit property there. You can also double click on it if you want to. I'm going to say no, don't display the label like that. I'm not a big fan of the box that they put around the price by default. I usually just go ahead and get rid of all those borders. I think it looks kind of tacky. You can have your own personal taste there, decide to keep it or not. We got change font here as a button. You can actually import a Windows font and decide to get all crazy with, something stylish that maybe matches the theme of your store, or, your logo or something like that. Or you could even probably decide, you could add your logo to this if you want. I'll show you how to do that in a second. Let's say this is the font that you use all over your store, Britannic. I'm going to go ahead and bump that up to 18, Britannic. You can choose a custom color. Actually, coming out of the Zebra printer, black is really the only thing that's going to work. It's not a color printer, it's a thermal printer. So we got Britannic, bold, 18.2345. Alright, there we are. So, this box is too small to handle that. So since it's centered, we can pretty much pull it all the way to the edges, and it will keep it into the center. You can do the same with this. Double click on it. If you want to change the font, you can change it to a different point, a different font, different size. You can put a box around it. Now, one key thing here on this barcode here, I'm going to go ahead and double click on the barcode, and I want you to note that there's two different types of barcode that you can use. Your regular USB barcode scanner will read both of them. However, if you see, the one that is set on by default is the 20F5IL, and that is the more compact format, ideal for use on small tags, such as jewelry tags. This is also a pretty small tag, so your barcode is going to be tiny. I would say it's a good idea to make sure that 20F5IL is selected. If you see, if I just hit that, it just kind of makes it into a different barcode. The barcode scanner can read either one, but I would recommend having it on the compact format. So, since that's not a change, I'm just going to hit cancel. I might also recommend that you stretch the barcode out. Your barcode reader gun is going to have an easier time reading the barcode if it is bigger. Getting that laser aligned right on there. This right here, of course, is your item number, and you probably want to keep that on there in case for some reason the barcode becomes unreadable, or your gun stops reading, or it's broken or something like that. Your clerk can go ahead and type in the item number on the sales receipt and punch it up. I'm also going to show you some different things you can choose under add. You can add a text label that's simply writing something that you want on every single one of these price tags, like Peter's Store. So now we have a label called Peter's Store. If we wanted to put that at the top and move everything down, we most certainly could. I'm going to use my arrow keys here a little bit. Find that moving things around with the arrow keys is a little more precise than the mouse if you're ever having problems. Okay, let's bring... Oh, another thing. Sometimes these things have a problem overlapping each other. Sometimes they do alright, but sometimes they end up pushing each other around. When that's the case, you want to go under this little arrow here to Document Template Properties. Now, this is on by default, and it says Snap Overlapping Objects to their edges. What that means is, instead of allowing things to overlap each other, it'll push them around by their edges. So sometimes, if I was to move this down into the price and click off of it, it might just push the price down. Now that I've turned that off, it won't be an issue. So here now for our label, we have the name of my store, the name of the product, nice big crazy font, price, got a nice big barcode so that our gun can scan it, and we've got the item number. So I'm going to go ahead and save as. I'm going to call this Peter's default label. Alright, so I save that, and I hit close. Now it's going to ask me, do I want to make Peter's default label the default printing template for inventory tags? In other words, do I want to use it most every time? Do I want it to be the one that it prints to automatically when you hit print? I'm going to say yes. Now you can see the user modified ones on here because they have a little green thing under the legend. It tells you that. And so we can see that Peter's default label is the modified one. It's at the bottom. I can come back and modify it again later if I print a PO out and I decide I want it somewhat different. So I'd go ahead and close, head to my item list, choose the products that I want to print. You can go on the I Want To menu to print tags. I usually like to add a blue button over here by customizing my buttons. And print tags, I'm going to add that to my menu on the left hand side there, print tags. So normally I would go ahead and choose the items I want to print, one or many. I would hit print tags, and right now I don't have a Zebra tag printer hooked up to this computer actually, so I can't even choose my template and everything. But that's pretty much it. There you have it. We've set our default template as the custom tailored template that we just made. So thanks for coming along with me on this little learning journey. And maybe you'd give us a call and ask us how we can help you save a little money on credit card processing within your QuickBooks point of sale. My name's Peter. You have a good day now.